that could be an issue. Today we're going to replace the wheel seal on a 99 through 06 Silverado 2500 HD. Alright, before we start tearing this apart, there's a few important things we need. One, an absolute must for this job is the spindle socket. You'll need an OEM 27046. This is crucial. You can't set the bearing preload or anything without this. You need it. Next, we'll need the gaskets for the axle flange to the hub seal. Always get brand new of these. I've seen guys RTV them, reuse them. Just trust me, save yourself a lot of headache. Get new. You'll need bearings if you're going that far, which in this case I'm just going to replace the bearings since I'm in there and all that. And if you do the bearings, you'll need the wheel seal. But if your wheel seal is what's leaking, you'll need wheel seal anyways. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so I already did everything for getting the wheel, the caliper, and the rotor off. Now obviously when you take your caliper off, this hose here is what we're worried about. We don't want to just let this caliper hang. See, I just zip tied it right up to this little hole in the bed rail. Keep it nice, safe, out of the way. But now we got to pull bolts for this and pull the axle out. Well, it seems that didn't go according to plan. So we'll get the breaker bar out and try to get the rest of these out. Alright, sorry about that there. Wasn't expecting this to pop out. This is why you should have a drain pan at the ready, because these will leak fluid once you crack them open. I just wasn't expecting after I got the bolts out for this to pop out. But that's alright. So, actually before I do this, let me get prepared quick. Alright, fully prepared. At least I think. But we're going to pull this right out. This needs to come straight out, so you got to be careful you're not banging it when it comes out the tube. I just have shop rags here to grab onto the axle as it comes out. That way, hopefully kind of clean the mess up as it comes out, but we'll see. So there's your axle shaft out. Once you get those bolts, it just pulls right on out. See, we got some gear fluid on here still, which should be good because I didn't do it too long ago, but I want to bring this up close just so you can see. Still all right looking. So we're not going to worry about changing it today then, just topping off of what we're missing. So we'll clean this up, set this off to the side. Now here's the important part. I'm going to bring you guys in closer then, but there's actually a little tang in here that you got to pop out first, and then you pull your key out, which is in here, and then you can take your spindle socket, loosen that up, and should be able to hopefully free this hub all the way up. So let me get prepared and get all that out, and I'll bring you guys in close. Alright, so I got you guys up close here. It's a little awkward for me to work on this right now because where I have my lighting in the camera, but right here you can see this is the tang. It's keeping our key in place. All we got to do is just simply pop that off and we should be good. Right there it is. Put that away. Now, for that little key that's sitting in here, which is right there, two ways you can get it out: magnet or needle nose pliers. I'm just going to try to get it with my magnet. As you can see, came right out, just how it was supposed to. So we'll get that out, put that off to the side. And then now, this is where the socket comes in handy, because you got the spindle nut in here, line that up, and see, comes right off, which is exactly what we want right now. Pull this out. And now the hub should be free. Might take a little bit. Alright, I'm going to have to do a little bit to get it off here, but I'm going to tune into you guys again once I get this off. That way I don't risk jerking back and knocking the tripod over or something. So I'll catch you here in a minute. Alright, we are back here quick. I got the hub off and you can see the whole wheel seal actually stayed on. I did have this done by the garage a couple of years ago when it was in for an inspection because it needed it. Just wanted to take it without the sticker, so I let them do it. But from what I'm seeing at, I'm not too sure where it failed. I think it might have failed on this outer edge here. And even though this is all in one piece, which probably isn't what you're going to see, it's still best to replace it. Now, and like I said, I don't see anything obviously wrong, but one thing I'm going to check while I'm in here is the axle vent, because potentially if that would have got a little clogged up and wasn't letting the axle vent, it could have pushed this away just enough from the pressure to let it seep and leak. So I'm going to get this off and then I'll bring you back to the hub for putting the new parts in. Alright, so I got the hub cleaned up and all that. Now we're getting ready to put the new seal in. I already did the bearings in here, so sorry for not showing that part. But when you do the bearings, you're just going to press the races out, press the new races in. Your bearing just sits on top of the races. I pack my bearings with a little bit of wheel grease just to make sure and all that, no issues. Technically, when you install the bearings, they're supposed to go in completely dry and be lubed with a little bit of the diff fluid. I like to make sure because I don't want to pull this back off again to find out the bearing failed because it overheated. Now, there's two ways you can get this wheel seal on. Obviously, the way I'm going to choose to do it is to press it on. The other way to do it, you could gently tap this all the way around in. There's only one important thing when you install these. You got a clean surface here which you can just clean up. Wow, sorry for that. But you can just clean this up here with a brass wire wheel, get all the rust and everything else off, scrape it depending on how clean your hub is, but you want to make sure this is clean and it has to be dry. These seals you do not lubricate when you put them on because they'll actually start leaking again if you do that. But time to get the seal on. And if you notice, I'm just using another one of my plates here because this fits right around that whole seal. It'll give me nice even pressure coming down. All we want to do is just make sure we go nice and slow and watch for any issues as we're pressing this. All right, and there it is. Nice on and straight. You don't need a press to do this job, guys, but let me tell you, having press, I got this one at Harbor Freight, makes it so much easier and less worries. You get a nice square seal and everything goes in. And one quick tip, do make sure your bearings are in here before you press this seal in, because if you don't, it looks like you're going to be needing another seal. All right, we are back. I did some cleaning too here. Got some of the rust off, not all of it, but a lot better than what it was. But now we're going to get to the nice final part, which is putting the hub on. I think this should be our favorite part because it means the job's almost done. All you're going to do, gently slip this on. Make sure everything's clean and dry in here. You want clean and dry. So we're going to get that on. So we got that started. And then we're going to put our spindle nut back on just to make sure this doesn't come off. Which, trust me, sometimes these can be a real pain to line back up. You just want to make sure you don't start cross-threading that. Should be able to just spin it in there by hand. Got most of the threads on. Let me grab the socket, which is right there, and I'll get my torque wrench. We want to make sure we do this right. So what we're looking to do here, we're going to just get this finger tight for the moment to our hub. But you can actually see this one is drawing itself in, just going finger tight, which is perfect actually. Okay, so I do these in steps. So you're going to get your torque wrench on here. You're looking for 52 foot-pounds to tighten this to. But the caveat is you got to make sure this is seated all the way, everything else, that way there's no issues. So this is going to kind of be a multi-stepper here. So we're going to come, we're going to start tightening it, which we're not getting any torque yet. Right there, we hit torque. Now, I can still actually see a little bit of a gap back here. It's not what we want fully. So, I just take dead below, make sure you tap it a couple times, because you want to fully seat this. Alright, I actually got a block of wood here. This is actually from a chair I was cutting up to get rid of, but looks like it'll come in handy just for this. Alright, we got a little bit more out of her that time. That's for sure. Going to torque her one last time. Right there we are. So now we got this torque to the 52 foot-pounds. The spindle nut here, that's actually going to come out. Not out, but has to be loose now. And I'll show you. Which that's what we want right now, just to be loose like that. We're going to check our hub. Spins freely, no issues. You're going to loosen this up, so that way you're only finger tight here, okay? That's all. Gonna make sure it actually spins free, and then you just snug this up a little bit, okay? Snug it up. And you can see, still free spinning. And then we take that and go to our next keyway. Which right there we got our keyway line back up. Thing here still spins nice and good. So now we just insert the keyway. All you do, take it, push it right in. Easy peasy. We'll get our ring out. Let's give this a little bit of a cleaning quick. And I'm just going to reinstall this. I don't have that all the way on yet, but I got it started. Go around, I just push it with a screwdriver. Now that's in. We'll double check it one more time, which we see everything spins nice and good, which is what we want. So now let's get the axle shaft out and get that installed. Alrighty, I am back. See, made sure everything's nice and clean. All I did, scrape the old gasket off, get that off. Same thing like what I did here. I just scraped the old gasket off, and then took a brass wire wheel and just wheeled all that extra debris off. Same with the axle shaft. We want to make sure we put our new seal on there. Nice Velcro. And then all you're going to do is just slip this back in. Oh, see a little bit of debris left. Okay, it's nice and clean. We're just going to slip this back in. You just want to make sure it stays nice and straight. Okay, which of course, here's the part that stinks getting lined back up. There we go. There we go. What we're going to do for that, we're going to go to the other side and just spin the tire a little bit. Alright, looks like our holes are lined up pretty good. So we'll line our gasket up. What I'm going to do is just take two of these bolts, slip in, just to keep our gasket in place. Alright, and then you're going to come back and you're going to torque these to 148 foot-pounds. Now, if you guys noticed something, I just realized it when I was tightening all these bolts. I forgot to put the parking brake back on before I slid this on. So, I'm going to spend some time fishing that back on and get this all buttoned up. But that's the basis of this job, so have fun.